Hello and thank you for joining us on the Pigskin Preview. Alongside the head coach of the Western Illinois football team, Mark Hendrickson, I'm Andrew Bacon. Last weekend, the Leathernecks took on the Illinois State Redbirds at Hanson Field. This marked the conference opener for the Leathernecks, and coach, unfortunately the team couldn't pull away the victory. However, a very hard-fought battle for the Leathernecks.
Well, it was a physical ball game, and like all the ball games that the Leathernecks play, and especially in the Missouri Valley Football Conference, it was a battle. We didn't accomplish what we wanted to. We wanted to earn our first victory in league play and be 1-0. That didn't happen, so of course now it's moving forward 100 miles an hour.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the highlights and see what would happen. All right, here we see Western Illinois will start with the ball, and we're going to see a good return by Fredson Solomon for 21 yards.
Freddie Solomon has become our kickoff return man, and he does a very good job with that. He's got some good foot speed, and so does Carlton Ray. And on play one of the ball game, we handed off to Carlton Ray, and we had a 5-yard gain, and we came right back to see Ray on play two, picked up about 8 more yards for the first down, and there's number 70. True freshman Mike Love made his first start at right offensive guard, and Nick Eversmeyer, a fifth-year senior for us that joined the program a couple of years ago, started left guard for us, making his first career start.
And there we're seeing Hudson under pressure, and once again, unfortunately for the Leathernecks, Hudson will be under pressure, and he's going to fall for the sack, and that's Underwood there getting the sack. Illinois State with the ball now, and it's going to be Matt Brown with the quick pass to Tyrone Walker, 11 yards. And Walker, he's the leading receiver for the Missouri Valley Conference right now.
And you're going to see some good hard hitting here by the defense all day long. We had some impressive play. We'll see who came through here. And
then here it's going to be Brown. He's looking for Donovan Harden, but incomplete. And it's David McDaniels. However, a pass interference, unfortunately.
Yes, a pass interference on 3rd and long gave Illinois State the first down. And yet the defense stepped right back up, played well again, got Illinois State into another 3rd down situation here. And we got some good pressure on the quarterback all day long. Didn't have the sack, but had some good hurries. And there's another completion and a first down by Illinois State on 3rd and long.
And then here you're going to see Marshawn Copperidge getting the carry, but only for a yard. As we take a look, Theon Dixon with the tremendous tackle.
Theon Dixon played a very good ball game at our weak linebacker spot, as did number 13 right there. Jonathan Rollins had a good day, some hard hits. Chip Holschlag, number 71, just gave a great effort on every snap, and he took most of them.
And here we're going to see Brown scrambling for 9 yards to get the gain, showing that he has a little bit of mobility as well.
Had Illinois State in another 3rd down situation. The quarterback scrambled for the first down, hit the tight end on a quick pass there to move him down into the red zone area.
That's right, Coach. And as we see there, the pass is incomplete, and now it's Brown, and this time he is again using his feet, going to pick up 12 more yards, and that's J.J. Raffleson on the tackle. J.J.
was our leading tackler again, played another complete ball game at our Mike backer position. Dwight Harris and Delector Durley, Gino, those guys chased the quarterback around all day. He did pull it down and run for us. Run for them a couple of times, as we just saw a minute ago.
And then here's going to be done for no gain. That's Raffleson and Dixon coming up with the big key 3rd down stoppage right here. And we're going to see a field goal attempt, and it's going to be good. However, unfortunately, Kieran James runs into the kicker, and they will get a first down.
A great stop by the defense in the red zone to shut them down and force them into a field goal situation. Unfortunately, we had the penalty. They took the penalty, and it moved them inside the 5 with a first down, and it took them several shots to get into the end zone. First 2 times our defense turned them back, and again the defensive line held tough most of the game with the backers right behind them. And of course right there is JJ again, number 43. And on this play, I don't know if they could have run it in on the ground, but their tailback did made the big jump, broke the plane with the ball just before we knocked it loose.
That's right. Now it's 2nd quarter. As you see, Colton Ray's going to get a 4-yard pickup, and then again give it to Ray, and he's going to get another 4 yards. And Coach, Colton Ray is a very good running back, and he's a senior for this Leatherneck team.
Yeah, we were running pretty well. Jimmy Holschlag, our right offensive tackle, had another good ball game. Number 81, Mason Howrington. He plays tight end for us. He motioned in the backfield quite a bit in this ball game, and was outstanding as well with consistent blocking.
And then here, Hudson's going to look for Charles Chestnut. However, it's going to fall incomplete, unfortunately. Here you'll see Chestnut unfortunately unable to get the grab, and that will be how the first half ends. It'll be 16-0, Illinois State Redbirds. Stay tuned. After the break, we will review the second half. This is the Pigskin Preview.
Are these real?
The best quality.
You mean they're fake?
Only a few dollars.
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 It's not only a few dollars. Counterfeit goods take away jobs, and many are tied to violence and crimes, including child labor, drugs, and gangs. You have the power to stop it. Know the real cost. Don't buy counterfeits.
Your heart rate's a little fast.
Cause of death, acute myocardial infarction.
Have you tried a weight loss program?
Likely caused by type 2 diabetes and heart disease.
Still smoking?
Victim's lungs are black and scarred.
You can get a physical exam now, or you can get one later. Talk to your doctor about a physical, learn how to lower your risk for type 2 diabetes and heart disease, and live a healthier life.
People have good hearts. During times of disaster, they donate food, clothing, and other necessities. However, this leads to the cost of packing, transportation, and storage, which is why money is more effective. Give with your heart. Cash is best. For more information, visit www.cidi.org.
Welcome back to the Pigskin Preview. Coach, going to the locker room down 16, what did you say to the team?
Well, offensively, we had not been as productive as we need to be. That was very obvious. We had not moved the chains. We had not held the ball long enough. Our defense had been on the field way too much during the first half. Overall, the defense had played well. Illinois State's been a high-scoring machine this year offensively, and our defense has stepped up and held them well. Unfortunately, because of our penalty on their first series, they were able to take it in for the score. We really held them to a field goal. The offense had a turnover later on, and our defense held them in that situation to a field goal. So a lot of good defensive snaps, not enough out of the offense. The offense needs to be much more consistent. We talked about that at halftime. We felt very confident winning the ball game. Knew that the defense wouldn't give up much more, if any more. Thought that we might win this ball game 17-16.
All right, let's go ahead and get into the second half. And as you said, Coach, Illinois State Redbirds are a very good offense. They're averaging over 40 points a game. And then here it's going to be Western with the ball, under 12 minutes to play, and it's Nico Watson for 4 yards. And then again, Watson, he's going to get 11 yards here, Coach.
Yeah, very good play right here. Nico's lined up as the lone back, as wildcat is a term that's used in football for that today. We put our quarterback out wide as a receiver and snapped the ball directly to Nico, and that was very productive for us on several plays as we drove this ball down the field inside the 5-yard line eventually.
And then here's Trey Oliver getting a rush for a yard, and then it's going to be Josh Hudson looking for Charles Chestnut. He's going to find him for 11-yard pickup. Take a look at this again.
This is a third down situation here. A good sprint to the left by Josh Hudson. Good protection up front. Good route by Charles Chestnut for the first down.
And then Fredson Solomon here coming up with a huge pickup. And we're taking another look at the feet here, Coach. Great body movement.
Good job by Josh to move out of the pocket when he needed to, and then he found Fred right on the sideline. And again, that was a great job by Fred. Of course, keeping 1 foot in bounds as he needed college ball.
And then here it's Watson again with the ball. He's going to get after a 4-yard pickup, get 2 more yards. Nico Watson really just having another great physical running game.
That play right there was productive for us most of the day. Out of a single back shotgun snap, and Here's Nico again running off of our right side. You'll see there's number 69, Jeff Lindsay, making a good block. There's number 39, Larry Harris, and playing fullback for us, and Nate Bowman also did an outstanding job blocking at the fullback position during the day.
And then here's Nico Watson. He's going to unfortunately lose a yard, and that's the only yard he's lost. Or excuse me, here he's going to lose a yard, and that will be the only loss of the season for Nico Watson. So
and at this point, we're down 16-0 on the scoreboard. You know, I really felt like we got and kicked this field goal. I knew Pat Smith would put it through, which he did with the help of his snapper Mike Famigletti and his holder Cody Reardon. And I really felt like, you know, our defense, you know, might just shut this team down and we score a couple more touchdowns. And as we talked about at halftime, win this ball game 17-16. That certainly was our goal.
That's right, Coach. And on the next play, or on the next possession, Illinois State was shut down. However, when they get the ball back here, they're going to start moving down the field. And as we see here, it's going to be Dunn getting the ball, and Dunn had an absolutely phenomenal game. Yeah, he was a workhorse for him, and you know, they gave him some creases, and he did a good job of fitting through, and he had a very productive day. And then once again, they're going to go back to Dunn. However, the Leathernecks are going to be right there, and we're going to take a better look at it, and you're going to see Kevin Kinsel coming up with the tackle. Number 17, Kevin Kinsel, had another good ball game for us. He's a true sophomore that's played very well, both as a true freshman and now this year, his sophomore season. And then here it's going to be Brown getting the touchdown, and that's complete to Jordan Nikirich for 12 yards for the 12-yard touchdown. And then here it's back to Western fourth quarter with 8 minutes to play, and Hudson's going to look for Charles Chestnut. Unfortunately, incomplete though. They did come right back with that touchdown drive after we made the score 16-3. Really thought we might be back in it. We had some momentum, but credit to the Illinois State's offense. They did drive down the field and score. The defense did step up, shut them down the rest of the day. In fact, they didn't come close to the scoring after that point. And unfortunately, you know, offensively, we weren't able to generate enough of offense to get us back in the ball game. And here we're going to see Josh Hudson looking for Justin Morgan, but just a bit too high for him, and it's going to fall incomplete. However, here Josh Hudson's going to find Fredson Solomon for the 8-yard pickup. And there we did have an incomplete pass there on an attempt at Freddie, but we did come back here and threw it right back to Fred on the next play to pick up a first down right there. And as we take a look at the replay here, good catch by Fred Solomon. He's got good hands. He's got quick feet. He's a good ball player. And then here it's going to be to Justin Morgan for 4 more yards and the first down. That was a 4th down situation. We went for it. Of course, we still have the goal of winning the ball game here. Time on the clock, and we went for it on 4th down. Made that big first down, and yet, you know, on the first and 10 play we got sacked, and of course that was a big setback. And then here it's Hudson, an incomplete pass to Justin Morgan. Unfortunately, it bounced off the ground into his arm, and now he's going to try and find Charles Chestnut. However, it's just a bit too high for him, and he's going to be unable to get the ball. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the box score here, Coach. Josh Hudson would finish with 10 for 22 for 55 yards. Nico Watson had 60 yards on 14 carries. Colton Ray carried the ball 13 times for 36 yards. Fredson Solomon had 4 receptions for 29 yards. J.J. Raffleson led the defense with 13 tackles, and then Jonathan Rollins added 8 tackles for the Leathernecks. We're going to take another short break, but stay tuned, because up next we'll hear from a couple transfer students for the Leathernecks. You're watching the Pigskin Preview.
It is so easy to give back.
I don't have a lot of money to help people, but I do have something. I have time.
Get up and do something. Just imagine how strong a society we could be.
Every one of us has a role to play in making our communities and our country stronger. Discover yours. Help us continue to make a difference in the life of our nation. Go to serve.gov and find the opportunity that works for you. And this message is brought to you by the Corporation for National and Community Service.
Stop. Whether it's on the way to school, at school, or online, bullying has become a non-stop threat to our youth today. Is your child being bullied? The National Runaway Switchboard can help. If you're having a hard time, get online or call to chat now.
Something's not right.
My first symptoms were
constant tingling in my toes.
Double vision. They said you have multiple sclerosis.
Kind of had to get a grasp on reality.
I had to adapt and change very rapidly.
I had to learn how to drive with my hands. Yeah, that was interesting.
A symptom may cause you not to be able to do that anymore. And at one point, I wasn't able to do any of those.
Since I've been cycling, it's definitely helped my walking.
It's a fantastic opportunity to be working together with a common goal of curing MS, and sharing is the key.
Welcome back to the Pigskin Preview. Earlier this week, I got a chance to talk with a couple of transfer students about their WIU experience thus far.
Positive we can definitely take out of it is that we obviously know what we did wrong, and I'm glad we have this bye week because from the stuff that happened in Illinois State and things like that, we recognize what we did wrong, and we got a whole week now to take our time and correct the little things. And you know, they were a good team, and they didn't do nothing but make us better.
Busted coverage, broken down plays. But after that, they didn't score. They only scored one time in the second half, and that says a lot. That speaks volume on our defense and our team in general.
Every year, the Leathernecks bring in key transfer students. This year, a couple significant players on defense brought in are Davon Butler and Trey Garvey.
I came from Hudson Valley, a junior college in upstate New York, and it really wasn't it wasn't a very good school. It was a good school academically, but athletically, we could be way better.
I transferred from Northern Illinois, the Huskies. I was there from '09 until this past summer. I liked it. You know what I'm saying? When I first came in, we had a bunch of good coaches. I love the coaches. I got into an incident where, you know, about a year ago, April 4th, I got into a shooting incident. So I had to sit out all last year. So during that time, when I was in the hospital and going through rehab and things like that, you know, we ended up getting a new change in coaching staff and things like that. And, you know what I'm saying, I guess I kind of just didn't fit in with the new staff, and things worked out for me where I was able to leave. I went to high school. One of my best friends is Jonathan Rollins. Made a phone call to him. He got me in contact with Coach Hand, and things just worked out from there. And now I'm a Leatherneck.
The coach actually contacted me 2 weeks before I had to be here for training camp, and there was no authors coming, so coach looked out for me, and I came here.
Moving to a new college can be challenging. However, these two Leathernecks have made the adjustment just fine.
To me, it's not too much different. You know, DeKalb and Macomb are two small cities. You know, kind of like the same kind of people, just, you know, a lot farther away from the city. As a town and things like that, I think it's really not too different.
It's going good. School works a little bit harder than the junior college was, but I'm getting a hold of it.
Their favorite part about being at Western is playing the game they love.
That's easy. Football is my favorite. This is what I dreamed of doing my whole life. I love it so far. It's a real Division I school. Ever since I was a little kid, I thought about going to Division I, and I'm finally here, so I'm enjoying every bit of it.
Right now, my favorite thing is, you know, just being able to play football. You know, my destination is never really, you know, mattered to me. You know, whether if I'm in the middle of nowhere or in a big city or school or whatever, it's just as long as I'm playing football. You know, that's all I really care about.
Coach, each year the Leathernecks have transfer students come to the program. How important are these students to the football program?
Well, each and every student athlete is very critical to our success. Everybody has a very important role on the team. And of course, we recruit the majority of our players from Illinois high schools, but we do have some key transfers that have helped us this season as they have in the past. Right now, offensively, Josh Hudson, of course, our quarterback, transferred here from a junior college out of California. Also, as far as skill players, Carlton Ray, our starting tailback, transferred here from Michigan State a couple of years ago. Freddie Solomon, a wide receiver, came from a junior college. He joined us in August. He's been a great addition to the team, obviously. Justin Morgan, another receiver for us, from the Chicago area, but he originally had signed with the University of Wyoming and then transferred back here after being there for a year. Our starting offensive center, Andrew Rubisky, started off at SMU and then transferred here and became a Leatherneck. And he plays a key role, obviously, as our starting center. Defensively, a few that come to mind: Theon Dixon, who just keeps improving every game. Theon transferred here from Ball State, plays linebacker for us. Davon Butler, another starting backer for us. He started each game this year. He transferred here from Northern Illinois University, started each game so far. Got here, just the 1st of August to report to camp. And then Trey Garvey. Trey's been an outstanding player for us at the safety position so far, and he transferred in here from a junior college as well. So, it's really interesting to see how your team gels. You have to have outstanding team chemistry. We do. Our players, really care a great deal about being a productive member of the Leatherneck football family. And some of those, again, of course, come out of the high schools directly, some from junior colleges, some from Division 1A programs. But once they're all here and they're in that locker room, they're all Leathernecks.
All right, and then this week, the Leathernecks have a bye week. So, Coach, how's having a bye week after the first conference opener, how does that help you guys? Well, right now, we can use that bye week. We've been hit by the injury bug a little bit. Of course, we've lost several players for the season, but we've got several that are nicked up, and this will allow them to heal up, and some of those will be full speed, I believe, by the time we travel to South Dakota, where they wouldn't be full speed this Saturday. But in 2 weeks from now, they should be good to go. All right, sounds good. Thank you, Coach, for that, and we're going to take another quick break, but stay tuned because up next we'll take a look at the Missouri Valley Conference thus far.
And now, another adventure with Savings Man.
Look, honey, the neighbors just bought a big screen TV.
Hey, I just got a bonus at work. Maybe we should get one too.
Hold on there.
Savings Man.
Using your bonus to secure your future by paying down debt or saving is a better way to go.
Well, I declare you're right, Savings Man.
Stay ahead by choosing to save. And don't worry about keeping up with the Joneses.
But their name is Johnson.
For more tips and tools, visit choosetosave.org today.
For others, it may have just been a summer job. But for me, it was training. Now I'm an Air Force pararescueman, and my job is to save lives. Make the right choices today, and be ready for the challenges tomorrow. This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
Winston, just one more inning, Grandma.
Ever notice how many things today kids can do without actually moving? A whole lot of things their parents used to do the hard way. So many kids' activities today seem to leave out the activity part, which makes exercise even more important for children. In fact, new research tells us the best time to enhance bone development is during childhood and adolescence. And just getting children to walk an extra 35 minutes a day could spare them the pain of thinning bones later in life. Healthy bones come from healthy habits. Encourage your kids to get up, get out, and get moving.
Hello. Hey, Grandma, how about another grape soda?
A public service message on building strong bones for kids from the Pediatric Orthopedic Society of North America and the American Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons.
At what age is the color that your skin was meant to be no longer beautiful? Every year, millions of young women try to change the skin they were born with and say they'd die for darker skin. Sadly, some actually do. Melanoma is the second most common cancer in teens and young adults, and one person dies from melanoma every hour. Change your thinking, not your skin. Stop tanning. Learn more at spotskincancer.org. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Welcome back. Here are the scores of the Missouri Valley teams from last weekend. Southern Illinois beat Missouri State 14-6. South Dakota State beat Indiana State 24-10. And South Dakota State was able to hold off Shakir Bell to only 54 yards as he's one of the best runners in FCS football altogether, Coach. And then South Dakota lost to Northwestern 38-7, another good FBS program there. North Dakota State blew out Prairie View A&M 66-7. UNI, or Northern Iowa, lost to Youngstown State 42-35, and that was a thriller that came down to the fourth quarter. And then, as we said, unfortunately, Western lost to Illinois State 23-3. Let's go ahead and take a look at the conference standings now. And currently, Illinois State and Youngstown are at the top as they are perfect 4-0 start, 1-0 in conference play. South Dakota State is 3-1 and have a 1-0 record in conference. Southern Illinois is 2-2 but have a 1-0 record in conference. North Dakota State unbeaten but have yet to play a Missouri Valley team yet. And then South Dakota is also has also not played a conference foe yet, but they're 1-2 overall. And then Western and Indiana State are both 2-2 and both have an 0-1 mark in the conference. And then Northern Iowa is 1-3 after having a very tough 4-game stretch to start the season and are 0-1 in the conference. And then Missouri State is still looking for a victory. And then let's go ahead and preview this weekend's matchups. Illinois State will travel to South Dakota, and that'll be South Dakota's first conference game. Indiana State will go to Southern Illinois. North Dakota State will go to Northern Iowa. And then Missouri State will travel up to South Dakota State. And then Youngstown State and Western will have a bye week this weekend, Coach.
Yes, and again, I'll admit this bye week comes at a good time for the Leathernecks. We can heal up some. We can work a lot on the basic fundamentals of our offensive and defensive schemes. Good timing for us.
All right, now it's time for the 2-minute drill. So let's go ahead, Coach, and get started. What is your favorite moment or game when you were playing back at UNI?
When I was a UNI Panther a long time ago, one would be it was a lot of fun to develop a relationship with my quarterback by the name of Terry Allen. Terry is now the head football coach at Missouri State University, so it's always fun, to see Terry. Obviously, each year when we play, we usually see each other a few other times, but obviously each pregame visit when we have a chance to talk. And then in my senior fall in 1979. We played here in Macomb, Illinois on Hanson Field. So as a UNI Panther, I did play one game on Hanson Field, and that means a lot to me.
And then, Coach, if you could go back in time and play any position in football, what would you play and why?
I always thought it would be fun to be a big, strong guy because that wasn't me. I was a wide receiver, and to be a big, strong defensive lineman, I thought that'd be a lot of fun. I've always joked with a lot of kickers and punters over the years I've worked with. We had a great punter here, Mike Cyphers, and now punts for the Chargers. We had a first-team All-American place kicker, Justin Langan, and I always joked with those guys that they don't play college football. They're a kicker and a punter, but it'd be fun to be a kicker and a punter as well, to have that pressure on you, I think.
Pat Smith certainly has that pressure, and he's a perfect 7-7.
That's right.
And for our last question here, who are some of your favorite sports teams?
I'll go back again to when I was much, much younger. I don't keep up with the pro athletics right now as much as I might enjoy. Stay busy, of course, with Leatherneck football. When I was a youngster, I cheered for the LA Lakers, Wilt Chamberlain and that crew. And the New York Yankees. I always wore number 7 whenever I played baseball because of Mickey Mantle. And then I always cheered for the Dallas Cowboys and Roger Staubach. So that goes back a ways, but those were my favorite teams as a youngster.
All right, well, that's all the time we have for you on this week on the Pigskin Preview. For head coach Mark Hendrickson, I'm Andrew Bacon. Thanks for watching.